Okie doke. Purchase history. I'm going to work on something else I bought. So, Series X, powers on, doesn't boot to the dashboard, E100 error message, blah blah blah. So, I'm assuming this is probably going to be an SSD fault. Probably. So, if you're watching this back as a video, I am live streaming it on Twitch right now. You can check me out, twitch.tv/thecoder2015. So, if he does make a video, which it will, I mean, got to get that YouTube board of money somewhere. So, yeah, check me out on Twitch, and if you're not subscribed, then I'm going to cry like a little girl. So make sure to get subscribed as well, unless you're into that sort of thing, and then don't subscribe. Yeah, so this is an Xbox Series X with an E100 error code, apparently. Let's just pair it on and see what the deal is with it. Make sure the listing's accurate and stuff. So I paid £180 for this. Was it £180? I didn't check. It was £195. Damn, £195 with postage. £180 plus £15 postage, and it took bloody ages to get here. And now, no, it didn't take ages. It took 4 days. First world problems. Question number 1: do we get a free disc? Nope. You suck. You absolutely suck. And no free SSD. One day I'm going to get a free SSD. I'm telling you. Alright, we've got an E100 error code. Okay. So I'm going to download OSU1 onto a USB quickly. You know what the funny thing is? I'm fixing this. But I'm not fixing it to sell. I'm fixing it just for the sake of fixing it. And then I'm going to strip it down for parts. Because I can make more on it on parts. Let's see what I can actually make off this, shall we? I'm going to make £500 on it. They're not worth selling. Oh, sorry. No, I missed something. There you go. ESDIC. Forgot about that. There we go. Now it's accepting it. Okay, that's still coming up E101. But look at where that's actually throwing the error. Okay, it's throwing it straight away. Right, let's try this. Right, no, that doesn't work. Right, so I'm trying all of the recommended solutions that Microsoft would recommend first. Yeah, there's loads of ribbon cables on this to sell. Let's try this. So it is starting to accept the update, but look at this. It's trying to copy the files over. And it's just like, nope. Nope, not interested at all. You probably don't give a damn about what I've got to say, but just hear me out for a minute, alright? We all know that those sweaty little douchebags with cheesy fingers, living in the mom's basement, drinking Red Bull and simping over TikTok losers are gonna break the console. And you and I both know that you're too cheap to buy off eBay, you're too impatient to wait for AliExpress, and you're just about smart enough to avoid Amazon completely. You can admit it, because I'm exactly the same. That's why I started my online store, consolefix.shop. I'll sell every part you'll need to fix the Xbox One, Series S, Series X, PS4, PS5 and Nintendo Switch consoles. So why not give me the money instead of some random dude on eBay? At least if I have it, you know it's not going to waste on some stupid thing like promoted eBay listings or food for the kids or something. If you give me your money instead, I'll promise I'll use it on useful things, like buying views on TikTok. So before you decide to go to one of the more popular sites and line the pockets of some fat cat loser, take a look at my online store. Check out the link in the video description or the top pinned comment and get 10% off any order over £25 during checkout. Alright, now you can go back to watching this douchebag on YouTube trying to fix something.
You can't say stuff like that in an advert, dude.
You're not my dad, dude. Don't tell me what to do.
That's what you think, Phil.
Wait, what? Mom? What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the SSD. And the good news is it does boot and it does turn on, so we should be able to clone it. So this is a V1 board, not V2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the SSD. I'm not going to bother with the thermal paste or anything like that because I'm not going to be selling this console. I'm going to be stripping it down, so it's pointless. No matter what, whether I get it working or not, this will be stripped down. So yeah, whether I get it working or not, it'll get stripped down. So I've got here a 1TB SSD. What I should do really is just mark this so I know which one's which. So I'm going to find something to mark it with. Just put a little scratch on the screw hole there. That's not going to hurt the SSD, but it will allow me to know which one's which. So if I plug that in to there, this is my little reader. You know what, I really should just freaking hardwire a power cable to this, shouldn't I? Why is my cable so twisted? Should probably add some flux, shouldn't I? Right, there's a wire for ground. Now there's a wire. 5 volt. 5 volt. It is not working. It is now. Right. Foul because it's pink, only Big Clive gets away with that. Ha! Don't hate the pink, dude. No, I'm not fixing the SSD reader, I'm just bypassing the power cable. I can't be bothered to find the charger. There we go. How much use has this SSD had? 7,786 hours. 324 days. It's had a year of use. It's been powered on 1,681 times. Sorry, 1,641. I mean, it's not much, but when you think about it, 325 days of use. I mean, that's my SSD. My PC does not get switched off. It don't get switched off at all, right? And it's only had 73 days of use. This SSD is an old one, and that's only had 1 year, 218 days. I say only, that's quite a lot. That's actually close to being needed, probably close to being replaced. But when you think these have only been out since 2020, that's a lot of use. That's why you don't have always on set on the Xbox. Anyway, never mind. Let's just have a gander at the partitions. I'm doing this one-handed because I'm holding the SSD down. So I'm just going to wait for disk part to load up. It really don't like this drive, actually, by the look of it. Look at that. So it can recognise my drives, but look, it's stuck. It just cannot read the drive at all. Can't read the partitions. All right, you know what? Forget it. I don't need to see any more. That's dead or dying. It's not dead. It's dying. A slow and painful death. And unfortunately, what am I doing? Unplugging the power. That's it. There you go. Yeah. Unfortunately, when that happens, your console is dead. So I'm going to put a new, a replacement drive in and power this puppy back up. I'm hoping I haven't got to go and get my Ubuntu laptop, tablet thing. Okay, so it's picking up both drives. Let's see if I can clone it. Here we go. There we go, boom. Okay, yeah, that one's cloning, so we might have got lucky on this one. And by the way, if you want definitive proof, you don't need this hooked up to a PC. There it is. You do not need this. It is an independent cloner. 1.7 amps that draws. Realistically, that should be all we need in terms of the data. But I am going to leave it for a little while. I'm going to let it clone a little bit more before I cancel it. I don't want to cancel it immediately, so let's just leave it for a minute or so. Right, what's the status? Doesn't say. I am going to cancel it though. Ow. Oh no, I don't need that one. I need that one. Ooh, that's hot. Ooh. Yeah, so, I mean, 46 degrees Celsius is the uncomfortable temperature for humans. So, that's why it feels really hot to me. Even though it's not realistically that hot. I mean, they don't like running at that temperature all the time, but it's fine short term. Whoops. So I'm going to partially reassemble this just for testing. Okay, it turns on. This is with the replacement SSD and offline system update. I just want to see 1% here. There we go, boom. Got it. Hopefully that should go through. What games have I got? I don't really game, I'll be honest, mate. I have got a Series X. The decoder is my gamer tag, but I just really very rarely get chance. Dumb question, how has a partial clone worked? Because on the Series X, there's only one partition you need for it to actually boot up and recognise the drive, and that is the first 1 GB partition. It's a hidden partition, you can't see it unless you're on Linux, and even then you can't open it, it's encrypted. But it's only that 1 GB partition, and that takes literally 30 seconds to actually work, to actually clone. It really don't take long to clone the first 1 GB. And I think there's only like 128 meg of actual files on there that it needs. So as soon as it's cloned that partition and copied that encrypted file, it's working, or it should work. You can clone it in Linux. Yeah, you can use DD. So you can clone it in Windows. It's just easier if you've got a cloning tool. Right, okay, that's rebooting. Let's see if it wants to go through the update. Hopefully it don't give us an E200 error code. Okay, that's normal. That wasn't normal. I've just had to manually turn it back on. Hey, Ellis, you beast. Thank you, dude. That's shutting itself down at 88%. Why? Yeah, it's just rebooting itself. It's just shutting itself down at 88%. I've never had that come up before. I've never had this issue. Why is it causing such a strange issue? Why is it shutting itself down? I honestly don't know. The replacement SSD is fine, yeah. Yeah, let's try one more SSD. I can't see it being the SSD, but I don't know. Now that it's started the install, that SSD is no longer valid at all. It has to be this one. While it's cloning, I'll show you what I mean, but it now has to be this one. Let's just make sure I didn't. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that was one of mine. No, this SSD is good. This SSD I actually loaned to Joey from Joey Does Tech. And by the way, check him out. I'll leave a link. When I make the video for this, I'll leave a link. But if you're watching live, just check out Joey Does Tech on YouTube and on Twitch, actually. Yeah, this went missing for about 2.5 months with Royal Mail. So I loaned it to him so he could try an issue on one of his own Series X's, and it disappeared. Like, no explanation. Tracking didn't update. I sent it tracked and everything. He was gonna buy it if it fixed his issue. I just loaned it to him so he could try, because I didn't want it. He didn't want to spend the money, so I was like, you know what, I've got one here, you can bother. So I loaned him one. It disappeared and turned up like 2 months later. It's really, really weird. Right, I'm gonna try cloning this. Yeah, it's not accepting a clone with that drive at all. That's very weird. Where did my screw go? Right, well, I'm going to grab another SSD anyway, so I can grab a screw. It could be that SSD is bad, I don't know. The one that I tried first, 100%, not bad. Come on. Yeah, that drive's bad. Alright, so that's cloning, but while that's doing that, I'm just going to pop this back into its housing, because I want to prove that as soon as you upgrade it, it's going to cancel the old encryption key. It changes every time. It's absolutely insane how much length they've gone to, or how many lengths they've gone to prevent you from upgrading the SSD and stuff, and how many lengths they've gone to prevent repair. But people keep saying to me all the time, why don't you just take a backup of your SSD when you buy it? Like, why don't people just take a backup? Which is all well and good in theory, right? But if the security key changes with every upgrade, with every software patch, then obviously that's not an option unless you take a clone every time you upgrade. Which, yes, in theory that would work. If you take a clone every time you upgrade, in theory that is going to work, but it's not really viable, is it? So in theory now, this shouldn't boot up with this original SSD. It shouldn't turn on at all. Yeah, it shuts straight off. Look, see, it goes to a 2 second beep on and off, because it can no longer recognise a security key on that drive. Whereas both of these drives will work for booting. It's stupid, it's absolutely ridiculous, but you just can't viably take backups of your SSD, because it'll change the security key as soon as it updates the software. Like, even with a minor patch, like a 700 meg patch, have you noticed the size of the patches changed when the Series X came out? That's because they're updating the security key as well. Oh, so I'll sort it. No, it won't. It doesn't sort it out. You can't physically load up the console without the matching security key on the SSD. So now, because that started a clone, both of those SSDs there will work now. They'll both allow the console to boot up. So this is the SSD that I cloned the software over to, or the security key over to, and then rewrote that security key. So yeah, that original drive now, no good. It's no good for booting. So here's the original. Well, what's technically classed as the original now. And I do just find it hilarious as well how Microsoft claim that they were looking into the benefits of repair, of allowing self-repair, and then they went and done this with the SSDs. It's absolutely insane. Why they ever needed to do this, I don't know, because they've never had the Xbox One exploited, or at least not publicly. Someone might have done it, you know, like unofficial, like, well, out of the public eye, maybe. I'm going to say the chances are high of that. Someone's probably found an exploit, but just not released it. But they haven't had mass exploits like the PS5 has, and like the PS4 has. And they're just putting a target on the back, right? Because they're giving people reason to want to exploit the SSD. They're giving people reason to want to hack into the console, because they're limiting what people can do. But yeah, that, you get the double flash, that's booting up. That's with the original SSD, or what the console sees as the SSD. And now, if I remove this, I'm going to connect it all back up now, because I need the fan and stuff connected anyway. I need the fan and the sync button connected. So now this will work with two SSDs. I found this out the hard way, by the way. I lost the console because of it. There's the new SSD. By the way, just so you know, I'm not lying. That's the one with my warranty sticker on. I'm not going to bother with the screws. Don't care about the screws at all. But I do want to get to the bottom of this, though. By the way, these are all official. For anyone that don't know, these are all official Xbox SSDs. They've all come out of Xbox Series X's. They're not 512s. They're not unofficial. They're not third party. You know, they are genuine Microsoft SSDs. For anyone that doesn't know, I've got to connect up the disk drive and stuff this time to be able to try and run through the update. But in theory now, this should work with this SSD as well. And then, as soon as I start to do an update again, it won't work with the SSD that's got the sticker on it. But that's just the way Microsoft have deemed it needs to be done for security reasons, even though you've been able to upgrade the Xbox One X, the One S and the One OG for 10 years. Double flash. Yeah, you didn't see. Yeah, there you go. And yeah, 2 SSDs working. Just so you know, I'm not lying. There's the original. Well, there's the original. There's the cloned one. This is the second clone one. So that's a clone. That's a clone of that, and this is a clone of that. But that one don't work. I wonder why, Microsoft. I wonder why. So people thinking I fanboy over Microsoft? Nope. I hate Microsoft. I hate Sony. I hate Nintendo. I hate them all equally. Security of their bottom line. Yeah, security of the Fat Cat's wallets is what it is, mate. Security of the Fat Cat's wallets. There we go. Let's try that again. Disk drive, you're right. Oh dear. Right, come on, stupid thing. E200. Of course it is. Of course it doesn't want to accept an update with a replacement SSD. Microsoft have done something here, because this is the second one in a row where I've not been able to update it now. Microsoft have fucking done something with this to stop you from replacing the SSD full stop. I don't give a what they say. They've done something with the software. They have to have done. I mean, this is a donor console anyway. I didn't intend on buying it. Yeah, it's not working. Nope, that's it. I'm done. I'm done with it. I've had enough. Microsoft have done something here to stop these consoles having the SSD replaced. This can't be a coincidence. I don't believe it. I do not believe that it can go from being able to update it to this. Oh, I'm speculating, yeah, but in my opinion, I don't believe them. If they say they haven't, then I don't believe them. Because when these first come out, we could replace the SSD using that exact process. This is the second one I've had in a row in the past month where I haven't been able to replace the SSD. Still could be something specifically wrong with that console. Yeah, but what? Like, it don't make any sense at all. And these SSDs work. There's nothing wrong with them. Yeah, I didn't remember you had another one with that issue. Yeah, exactly, mate, yeah. I don't understand. It can't be a board issue. Because if it was a board issue, it wouldn't get that far, surely. Planned obsolescence. It definitely is. This needs to stop, like, seriously. I mean, this console, I don't personally care about this console. This console is a donor, no matter what. I cannot make money on this, so it has to be stripped down. But in terms of repairability, if this was I ended up buying one of these off a customer a month ago because I couldn't fix it. This does suck, but, you know, it is what it is, I suppose. There's not really a lot that we can do. I appreciate you all hanging out. Take care, everyone. Hope you all have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!